Welcome to the Knowledge Series. Today, under the course EC407 Computer Communication, we are going to discuss in the area of routing. Routing is the basic process for delivering the packet. As you know, the OSI layer under the stage of a network layer, you can see that a routing layers comes in the TCP/IP protocols from the bottom as a third layer. So the routing here, it indicates that it is a process of selecting a path in a network along which a packets shall be sent to destinations. Generally, in a network, there are multiple paths from the source to destinations. So there is necessary that a packet need to be forwarded through a route, and for that a network layer is being preferred. Thereby the packet can be delivered based on the desired IP address. As you can see that in the network layer, this particular routing protocol is being followed, where the network layer software, its responsibility is that the packet should be delivered to the destinations based on the certain preferred algorithms, so that network can move the packet from the sending host to the receiving host. Here you can see in this slide also that a routing consists of a router. As you have already seen the previous video series, where I have discussed about different devices in the network layer, like a hub, bridge and router, followed by there are several other devices are there. Routers are basically used for the internet protocols under the network layer. So when a packet is being sent over the network layer, a set of a routing protocol is being followed. A routing informations table is being maintained, and one or more different type of a routing algorithm is being run. So when this algorithm is being employed and it is being executed, so based on the iteration process, these database which will be maintain the IP tables, thereby the standard protocol is being followed, so that the router can able to route the data to the destinations. So that is what we can see here in the case of a routing. So I once again repeat that routing, it's the process of deciding where to send the received packet. So it's nothing but it is just a routing. It is a packet is coming and that packet is being processed further. So that is the task of a routing. In continuations, let us see another term is the routing is the process of selecting a path for traffic in a network or between or across multiple networks. So it's nothing but a path selectors. Thereby the packet which is coming, it can able to route to the desired destinations based on the IPs. Broadly, routing is performed in many type of networks, including circuit switch network such as PSTN public switch telephone network, and a computer network such as the internets. So that is what I mean to say with respect to the routing. Now let's see further ahead with respect to this routing. If you try to see this figure over here, you can see that a box is been shown which is reflecting that a IP forwarding to a routing table and the routing functions. That means a packet is coming from the previous nodes with the header which is fixed to that packet, stating that it has to move to some other locations. So maybe that it is reaching to a router. So when it reaches to a router, the routing table will try to maintain from where the packet has been forwarded and where it has to go. So all this data it will be maintained in the routing table, followed by some other parameters. Then based on the algorithms, the routing function will take place. Based on the protocols and based on the algorithm, the routing table will try to process the packet to the destinations. So here you can see when any packet is coming and this is being processed, so every time this table is being updated, that is what it is being shown. Then there is whenever the table is updated, then there is a route updations will also take place. So that is a route lookup. It is being also been shown where the particular packet has to route, how the packet has to be controlled, which algorithm should able to run so that, and which protocols it need to be followed so that that data can be processed accordingly. So there are 4 factors is there. One is update of the table, then the route updates is there, the protocols that is being followed, the routing algorithm that has to run. These are the factors which is coming under the case of a routing. So when we talk about a routing scenario, you have to understand how this particular data or the packet is being coming, how the packet is being delivered. Let's see here. This is a source, and this packet has to reach to these destinations, and these are the rest of the network. So from the source, the packet can be directly taken to the destinations depending upon the configurations. Suppose if it is ad hoc configurations, so based on the access network, so that source can directly send the packet to the destinations. So under this case, this is within the interior zone, or we say that it is a intra network. Suppose there is a network is there which is the internet world, or that is to the rest of networks, and where you need a IP, so the router is sitting here. So in that particular scenario, if your source is here and the destination is on the other remote locations, then you have to see that you can send the packet from the source to destinations through this router. This is these type of formations, how the packet is being moved. Now here we are using a 2 terminology: direct delivery and indirect delivery. Direct delivery means that you do not have a much intermediate nodes. You can directly select the source to destination and you can able to route it. Indirect means you can use a more number of hops, and thereby you can directly reach to the destinations. So that is that means one is that you use the this particular network is being shown. You indirectly take the packet to move, or you can use it directly from the router to the destination you can select. When you say indirect method is that you are looking for the appropriate router which is there in the network, so that your packet can reach to that before the destinations, the previous node point. So assume that this is the node point is there. From that node point, if you can able to directly make that packet to deliver through a hop, you can able to make that particular data to reach to the destinations. So here two thing is that one is the route methods. You can use a direct methods. Another is that this is also a direct method, indirect method. Another is you can use a hop methods to pass on the informations. If you want to understand this one further, let us see here. Next hop method was a route methods. Here it is shown a routing table based on the routing. Another side is a routing table based on the next hop. That means if this is a host A and this is a host B, so you can send this particular packet from here to the different points through a nodes, through a routers, to another nodes router, another nodes the router. Like that you can reach to a end point. So here it is showing a destination is a host B. Assume this is a host B. Then what are the routes? It has a router R1, R2, and then only this host B. Now another case is shown here, host B. Once it has reached to this point, then from the N2 you have to take a router, and through N3 it will reach to the host B. And finally, once it is routed from here, it is already it has reached here. That means from here to here 1, 2, 3. So you can try to see that you are having a 3 different form of a representations, or you can say a route is there, but you can have a 3 different hop. So that is what host B, if you want to reach, first is a R1, then case is a R2, and third is a host B itself. So here 1, 2, and 3. So this is known as a 3 hops, even though the route is 1. Another way to represent this method is in the case of a forwarding. Basically, what you are observing is that in the forwarding case, the router local actions is being taking place. In the local action of a router, it forwards the packet from the input link interface to the output link interface. And when the packet arrives at the router input link, then the router will move the packet to the next point or in the appropriate output link. And this will continue. Here it is shown N1, N2, and if there are a number of like this one, so it will continue based on that. Or if you have a number of a multiple point, instead of like a single line, multiple point, then the router will be verifying the IP, and based on that it will be identifying where it has to send. So here you can see that routing as we were talking, it is a part of a network layer where that particular process will determines the end-to-end path of the packet, that is from the source to destinations. Now here if you see that destination is what, N2, and the previous hop is R2. So from a host A, if it has to go to N2, host A it will reach to N1, and from N1 it will go to R2, and R2 it is taking place N2. So destination is N2, but it will be taking a hop through R2. But here if you see, R1 is the next hop. What is the destinations? Destinations in this case will be rest of the internets. That means it is taking this particular router as a hop, so that it can able to reach. So that is what here N1, N2, N3 is there. This R1 and R2 is a hop situation. So that is what it is being showed here. But here in this case, this is the path it will maintain. One path, then the next path, and direct path. Now here you can try to see from you are connecting your systems to the network world. So based on the IP, you can try to see this is a class B IP. So in the class B IP, based on that, from here it has come to N1. From here it has gone to a router, and from router it has gone. And what is this one? This is the MAC address of this one, or a physical address. This is a logical address. So based on the physical address, it has gone to a logical address, and it is going and searching for the domain where what the system is looking for, and based on that it is going to the network. So this is how the packet forwarding is taking place. Now here one more things we will see with respect to the routing table. Now every routers, you can see these are nothing but routers. Every router has its own table. That is what we are shown, and this table is looking like this one: routing algorithms, local forwarding table, header value, and output link. Header value is nothing but on the packet front side. You can see the packet will be having a header frame or header bits. Based on the header bit, it will come, and if it is a 0111, it shows that it has to go to this link. That is the output link 2. According to that one, the packet will be forwarding. So when it reaches here, it will see 1, 2, and 3 link, and as per the local forwarding table, it has to go to 2. So it will take a route 2, and it will go to the next router. So this is what we see. That means a packet with the header, it arrives at the router, and the router will try to see the index table, and based on the indexing of the forwarding table, it determines which output link it has to interface with this packet, and thereby the router will then forward. Now here the routing algorithm, what it determines how the particular router should able to forward that particular packets. So routing algorithms, when we say, it can be a distributed type or it can be a centralized types. So the network layer basic function is what? It is to forward the packet, it is to route the packet, and it is to do a connection setup, how the packet has to move, how the when the packet should able to move. All these things we have seen in our previous video series. Now we go to the next segments on static and dynamic routing. Now what is exactly it means the static routing and a dynamic routing, and this is normally appears in the every university exams as a comparisons. So if you see the static routing means it's a manual form of a routing, and dynamic means the routing is a automatic form of a routing building. Now if you see whether the routing tables, so in the case of a static routing, just like we are talking about a routing table, in this case the datas that is used for the routing table is because as per the name of a static, so it is a hand typed. That means you don't need to update that particular tables, whereas in this case it is it has to fill all the locations in the table. So and moreover it is dynamically it will keep on updating. Here the router is a user oriented because it is confined to a small activity, so that's why it is basically user defined, whereas this is based on as the topology changes, just like the star, bus, tree. So these topologies, when it changes, so this router update accordingly. Now here we coming to the routing algorithms. It's a very simple algorithm you can see in the case of a static scenario, whereas in the case of a dynamic scenario, your routing is more complex. You can use it for a small network. in the static routing, whereas in this case you have to use for a large network. If you look across the failure chance, the link failure here in this case it will disturb the rerouting. So why? Because it's a static, whereas in the case of a dynamic routing you have a flexibility, because if one link fails it will take another link and follows, because every time every node will be maintaining its table with respect to its neighbor. Security, it is more secure because static is not having much interactions with the all surroundings, all neighbors, whereas as per the route which the user is defined, based on that it will be able to advertise. So that's why it is more secure, because no advertisement sends with the data. Here the less secure because it is a multicast and a broadcast. Advertisement means it is mentioning about where and where it has to move, and how it has to follow the handshaking and other related configurations for the data sending. Routing protocol. So here no routing protocol is added to the routing process. Here you will see that you will be following different protocols like RIP, IGRP, like that in the case of or EIGRP, like a protocols it is being used. When you see the resources, in this case, since the routing static routing, it does not have a much heterogeneous form of a networking, so there is no need of extra resources like memory and CPU, whereas in this case it is required extra resources like a CPU and memory to make the packet or the data to move from one source to destinations. Now coming to the advantage part, if you look across the advantage of the static routing, you will find that in this case of a static routing, it is easy to implement, particularly in the LAN network, and it has more secure, and you can able to predict where the route from which point to which point, like a TCP scenario, and you do not need a complex algorithms, and no update mechanism is needed, and moreover, as you can see, the resources are minimum. But if you look across the disadvantage part in this case, this is only suitable for a small network. You cannot use for internet world. Complexity in this case will increase if your network size is increasing, and when it is a very large network, it become more complex, and if one links fails, you can see that the whole system will collapse, and you need a manual interventions for rerouting the traffic. So that is what if a failure is there is no rerouting, so but you need a manual intervention in that case, and it cannot support a complex routing algorithm because of the static scenario. Let's see the dynamic routing advantage. It is basically suitable for a large network, and it can fit to all the topologies where many routers are going to play a role. Yeah, and it is easy for a large network, and based on the network size, the dynamic routing find independence. And if one link fails, the whole network will never collapse, rather it will take a switch over to the another link. And even if one link fail, it will automatically can reroute without a manual intervention, and it supports a complex routing algorithm. But the disadvantage part, when you try to see, it is more complex to implement because of the larger network size, and from the security aspects, it is less secure because it has to advertise the routing informations along with the data. And in the case of a dynamic routing, you need additional configurations for setting the routing protocols so that it can able to do the routing, and it can be secure also. and it need a extra resources for improving uh, the routing as well as for meeting the link bandwidth. So this is what we see in the case of a static and the dynamic routing. Now we will see the final part of these discussions is routing protocols. So routing protocol, as I when I say, you have to understand that as we have seen in the case with respect to the previous slide, static routing and dynamic routing, all the routing protocol which we are going to discuss now is with respect to the dynamic routing protocols, because as we have seen the routing protocols, here is no routing protocols are needed for here. So it's a simple form of a routing. But our entire network is a dynamic scenario. So that's why the dynamic routing protocol plays because of the ever-growing size of the internet. And in the dynamic routing, the packet forwarding tables need to continuously update, so that it able to route, and the router can able to know where the particular packet need to forward. So router exchange these of informations using a routing protocols, and thereby it can able to determines under which network it can able to work. So here, if you try to see the routing protocol, it is divided as a intra-domain and inter-domain. So when we talk about intra-domain and inter-domain, you have to understand that intra-domain is it talks about a small network. Let us take that if you take within the network of a smaller size, then we term it as a intra-domain. And inter-domain is that which is you need a bigger network or a bigger size. When you talk about intra-domain, you should not take into consideration that it is a small, but the topology, as far as the topology size is concerned, and here it can you need these particular protocol like RIP and OSPF protocols to operate. And in the case of inter-domain, you have to use another protocols like a BGP and some other forms which use this inter-domain protocols, inter-domain protocol. So here, when we try to see the network, when you talk about a network, a network is divided into various autonomous forms. Autonomous, in short, the acronyms we can put in abbreviation as AS. And these autonomous network, it consists of networks and the router. Thereby, it can able to control by the single administrators. So the routing which is done inside an autonomous system, it is termed as a intra-domain routing protocol. And the routing which is done using a using an inter-domain routing protocol, it will have a different autonomous systems. So if you are using a intra-domain routing protocols, there are two algorithms is being used. One is a distance vector algorithms, another is a link state routing algorithms. So these algorithms will try to use protocols like RIP and the OSPF protocols for the case of a inter-domain. Otherwise, by using a path vector algorithms, we can use a BGP for this particular protocols to operate. So when we use a path vector, you will be using in the under the case with respect to the you will be using a distance vector and the link state along with while solving these path vectors. Now distance vector means if one node is there and another node is there, what is the distance and what is the link state, what is the cost state, all these things is coming under this particular features or the functions of the distance and the link state algorithms. We will be studying this about this one in our next discussions. Now, when we talk about a routing protocol, the futures, what are the futures of the routing protocols? Basically, routers use the routing protocols to know what is the available path of the network, and how the router can able to select the best and the fastest path, so that packet will be able to forward from the source to destination, and it will not find a congestions in the network. And it will try to see that how a one path can exist, so that you can avoid the network can avoid multiple number of intermediate nodes. So that is the futures I have been talking. Now let's see some of the functions of the routing protocols. The routing protocols has some of the functions like the routing protocol try to learn the routing informations from the neighboring routers. That means every time router will try to maintain its status, and the routers those router which are connected to each other, every router will be having informations of its surrounding, and it will advertise the local routing informations to its router. That is, suppose there are 3 routers A, B and C. Every time these 3 will be knowing the informations, and it will also broadcast, I am having these informations, the other one will also state about this info. Like that, the 3 of them will be broadcasting the information, thereby they will update their algorithm table. That is what we say as a local forward tables, and it will calculate the best route for each subnet of the network. So here you have studied the what exactly the subnet means, and it will provide a virtual mapping of all the routes of the network. So that is what it will try to create, and it will try to calculate the cost of each route, and that helps the router to choose the best route in a fastest way. And it will try to detect if there any change in the network, say because of the link failure or because of the collapse, and thereby the all router will automatically reroute the systems, reroute the links, so that the packet can be sent to the destination nodes or destinations device in a appropriate and in a faster basis. So these are the basic discussions that we have seen today with respect to the routing protocols. We have covered about the routing, and we discussed on the packet forwarding, and the method of a direct and indirect delivery, the technique of the forwarding of the packet, routing table, static and dynamic routings, and finally we discuss on the routing protocols. We will discuss further in the next series with respect to the continuation of this. Thank you.